Good evening, good evening, good evening, or afternoon, or wherever you are. Happy holiday from Omiinka 7 and Tribe. I'd like to welcome you so much for taking the time out to join me on this radio station. And this is Omiinka's production studio, and I'm testing this out today. I hope it is coming along clear and you can hear me. Once again, I have been recording on another station about the Black agenda, and I want to serve notice today that we are having a difficult time as groups of the Black media. There's been so much quarrelsome fighting, inlay fighting, discussions, and targeting individuals, and I don't like it. I'm hoping that we can resolve these problems that we're hearing about these radio stations who are confronting each other about the descendants of slaves category. The name of Descendants of Slaves was created by Tom Locke and also Mrs. Brown. And these two people have been reporting on the descendants of slaves. They've even gotten together and created a leadership role of a plan of some sort. And I am anxious to hear more about the plan. I am glad when I see professionals come together and try to put their knowledge together for the benefit of the whole, to make sure that we get a chance to look at what professionals can do in the way of laying a foundation for Black people. Unfortunately, we have a lot of Black people who are not educated, who don't have the skills, and they become so overwhelmingly suspicious of those of us who have professional skills and credentials, and that they will attack those people. And I know that this is possible. So what I'm saying is that you need to rally around this topic of Black agenda and say that we need a plan. And we need a plan from educated people who know what they're doing. That means that you should have had some classes in economic. And you know a little bit about doing actual data collection. And you can put a schematic together and show the statistics and document everything you're saying. And that's what makes you a professional, because you do it a little bit differently and you submit documentation to substantiate your findings. And if you're not going to do it that way, then you're in the category of a novice. And if you're a novice, step aside. We are looking for professionals to come forward with a plan. And you cannot be blaspheming these people. You cannot be interrogating them. And you cannot be interrogating their integrity so that you are downgrading them in the media. This media is a highway, and you need a license to drive on this media. And especially if you're going to be reporting the news, you cannot be reporting hearsay. And you have got to substantiate your own findings and documentation. You cannot just show us a videotape and try to convince us that this is news. This is not news. This is repeated hearsay. And hearsay is inadmissible in a court of law. You cannot bring hearsay into a courtroom. Okay? You either have to substantiate it with documentation or it will not be allowed. It will be barred from being entered into a court of law. Now, I am happy that Mrs. Brown and Tom are legally trained and credentialed. I am happy that they put together this Descendants of Slaves and they have a background and a foundation to do so. I am pleased with that. Now, for us to create all of this confrontation and fighting amongst ourselves about whether or not they could do this, there's no laws that said that they had to pass the bar in order to be able to bring something for our Black members of the status quo. We need a plan, and we need somebody that has some political background, like Mrs. Brown has, who's worked in the White House and worked with the political parties of the Republican, the Independent, and the Democrat. We need that information so that we will be up to date on information that we don't have, that we're not privy to, that she's gained from the White House. Now, I would also like to say that this quarreling has to stop. And we've got too many people